Whether you're new to this podcast or you've been tuning in for a while now, thank you so much. Welcome and welcome back. You're listening to the Motivation Medium Podcast. I'm Amber Malone, and guess what we're doing today? Same thing we do every week. We're just collecting information about our feelings and having hashtag zero shame conversations. Today's zero shame conversation is about when trusting your intuition feels confusing.
This is school. It's a school. Always has been.
Welcome to the Motivation Medium Podcast. I'm Amber Malone, and every week I'll share helpful ways to overcome shame and gentle reminders about embracing self-love. Together, we'll become more curious about our feelings and our human experience. Visit motivationmedium.com for more self-love tools. You're not alone if sometimes trusting your intuition feels confusing. You can believe your intuition is a reliable and trustworthy source. You can be aware of techniques to trust your intuition more and still not feel 100% sure all the time. So let's talk about when and why you might notice feelings of confusion around trusting your intuition. Trusting your intuition can feel confusing when, for example, you've had a stressful week. Or maybe you're experiencing a life change and you have some mixed feelings about it. You might feel excitement, anticipation, fear, disappointment, concern, sadness, loneliness, joy at different times. And having mixed feelings doesn't necessarily mean, if there was a decision involved, for example, that you weren't trusting or listening to your intuition. You can know that life is full of changes. You can feel flexible when it comes to change. You can anticipate the change will be a good change. You can consider yourself someone who embraces and welcomes change and still feel worried, stressed, frustrated, and nervous about a life change, even if it's something that you're also feeling excited about. Trusting your intuition can feel confusing even if you feel very connected and in tune with the messages your body sends to you. One perspective I hear a lot is, and you may have heard it too, is that you should always trust your gut. When anxiety is present though, what's been helpful for me is to become more curious about my gut feelings. I ask myself open-ended questions about gut feelings because sometimes I feel anxiety in my stomach, and my stomach issues might be connected to anxiety around saying no and honoring my boundaries. For example, imagine a friend or family member invites you to their event and your intuition is saying no. Sometimes if you feel anxious that you will disappoint someone or hurt someone's feelings, you might feel it in your gut. So it's okay to check in with yourself and ask those open-ended questions because accepting a social invitation is not a requirement. You get to choose which events you want to attend. If your intuition is saying no, if your body is telling you there are red flags, if your spirit is uneasy, you don't have to compromise your well-being for others. Your needs matter. You're allowed to look deeper into those gut feelings when anxiety is present. You're allowed to honor your boundaries. Trusting what your intuition is saying to you might look like taking a self-compassion break from social events, even virtual ones. You're allowed to preserve your time and space for activities that say yes, yes to your needs. And also, it's okay to loosely plan for social events while you are taking time to reflect and asking yourself those open-ended questions. Yeses can change based on what's best for you. You're allowed to change your mind. Trusting your intuition can also feel confusing when something you want to manifest in your life is presented to you by someone like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I believe there are always opportunities for you. Opportunities will always find their way to you at the perfect time. There is more than one path. You don't have to buy into the belief that something you feel uneasy about is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I can see how when something is presented as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and it's something that sounds like what you want but feels like something you don't want, it might feel confusing. Sometimes things sound great but don't feel great. I like to keep it simple. If it doesn't feel great, it doesn't sound great. And what I mean by that is your mind, body, and spirit may be sending you important signals about your boundaries or values being violated, a dangerous situation or relationship. So again, It might be helpful to ask open-ended questions and notice those sensations within your body, because your intuition can also send you messages when your boundaries have been crossed. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to honor your needs. It's okay to trust yourself. Trusting your intuition can also feel confusing when shame stories are surfacing. Shame stories to be mindful of are shame stories that say you have to prove your worth, shame stories that tell you to dismiss, minimize, or discount your intuition so you won't disappoint someone, shame stories that say the intuitive answers you offer yourself are not enough, shame stories that use your past experiences as evidence against you, the shame stories that say you shouldn't feel a certain way. Shame stories that start with "don't complain," which can sound like, don't complain about this once in a lifetime opportunity. You should be grateful, even though you're sensing red flags and feeling something is off. You can hold feelings of gratitude for experiences, the people in your life, material possessions, and choose to unsubscribe to the shame stories. You can choose to say no to offers that cross your boundaries, values, they just don't feel right. Your needs are valuable. And those be grateful shame stories can show up when you say no to an invitation, and they can sound like, be grateful somebody's inviting you. Be grateful for your friends and family. Saying no doesn't mean you're ungrateful of anything. It's okay to trust your intuition. It's okay to honor your needs. Sometimes trusting your intuition looks like noticing when you're feeling guided towards support or talking to someone who can offer an objective perspective. Your intuition may be guiding you toward expressing self-compassion through connection and support. Your intuition might be reminding you support is available and you have options. Your intuition might be guiding you to check on a friend, coworker, or family member, and that might look like asking how they are feeling and how they are coping. And if you're feeling guided to check on someone, it's okay to let others know you're there to listen without offering solutions or giving advice. Sometimes it helps to know someone is listening. Your intuition might be sending you gentle reminders that it's always okay to choose you. It's always okay to trust you. As you know, we're just collecting information and exploring our feelings. This is your reminder it's okay to reach out to someone for support, because it's okay to talk about how you're feeling. You know how much I love connecting with you and having these conversations with you. I appreciate you so much, and I'm looking forward to connecting again next week.